10 minutes before 7 here on the program. So Eskom has appealed to its employees to continue working while the power utility tries to find a solution to the ongoing dispute around salary increases. CEO Phakamani Hadebe has also assured South Africans that the lights will be kept on as two of its biggest unions plan to hold a one-day strike against the Eskom's decision to not increase salaries this year. Unions are demanding a 15% increase. So let's discuss this issue. We're joined on the line by Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, who is the spokesperson at the National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa, that's NUMSA. Phakamile, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Give us the latest. What is going to happen today? Is the strike action going ahead?
In fact, I need to just correct you there, Leanne, and please, if you can correct your reports as well. We are not on strike. Our members are embarking on a picket. It's a national picket. All Eskom plants around the country, workers will be picketing at lunchtime, but there is a major planned picket which is taking place today at Megawatt Park, which is Eskom's head offices, this morning.
Okay, so that is reassuring, because I think a lot of South Africans have been very, very worried that this is in fact going ahead, and we've heard this from many different sources, particularly doing the rounds on social media and WhatsApp about the fact that there is going to be a blackout in South Africa. Is this not the case? So as far as you know, members are going to work and everything is going to be business as usual?
We are just picketing, and during the time that we have been allocated for picketing, obviously members will be demonstrating outside. But as Eskom reported yesterday, they have contingency plans. So we are not expecting a blackout. We are not on strike. Our members are simply picketing today.
Yeah. Have you obviously been in touch with some of the members? Because, you know, yesterday there were reports that there was intimidation of employees that wanted to go in. There was some that were refused entrance into the power stations. Some protesting members barricaded entrances. They threatened workers. I imagine much of the same will happen today. Are you aware of anything like this?
I think, first of all, it's important that we must state that as a union, we don't support intimidation. We are going to be picketing peacefully and demonstrating peacefully today, and that is our expectation. I have heard those reports as of last night. Unfortunately, I've not been able to confirm them because those reports came through very late last night. So we're not clear about who is responsible for what people are saying with regards to allegations of threats. But as a union, we do not support threats or intimidation of any kind. Workers have freedom of association, and they have the right and the freedom to picket. And those who choose to go to work have the right to go to work and should not be frustrated in their work if they choose to go to work.
So we believe yesterday that there was a meeting with the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan. The reports that we're getting out of that meeting was that Gordhan is committed to ensure that Eskom doesn't go back to the negotiating table with no offer, because currently it's sitting at 0%. He has said that there has to be some form of a wage increase, or he's going to try and assist in some way. Were you a part of this meeting? How did it go? Are you feeling more positive after the meeting with the minister?
We are not aware of this meeting. We were not part of this meeting. However, if what you're saying is true, then of course it does give us hope. Because ultimately, the reason that workers are angry is because when you consider the manner in which the state-owned enterprise has been run for the last 10 years, we've had serious allegations of corruption, we've had serious allegations of misconduct, as well as mismanagement from senior managers, and yet despite the shenanigans that are taking place at the executive level, the men and women of Eskom, ordinary workers, have been working very hard to keep the lights on. Yeah. So it was very provocative and frankly obnoxious in the extreme for the Eskom management to then come to the negotiating table after workers have worked so hard to then come and tell them that they deserve nothing, when we know for a fact that the problems that are plaguing Eskom have nothing to do with ordinary workers. These were decisions that were taken by senior management. They are the ones who are responsible for the crisis that is currently plaguing Eskom, and they have a duty to deal with that directly and decisively.
Yeah. You know, I mean, many would agree with you. Many people would agree with you and stand on the side of the employees who have been working throughout and obviously would like to be remunerated. But, you know, having seen the financials of Eskom and understanding the financial situation that the company is in, is there no other way out of this, to sort of accept it this year but then hope for an increase next year? I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because I know you want to get an external negotiator to actually come in and assist with the negotiations. But, you know, when you look at the numbers, Eskom genuinely cannot afford this increase. I mean, are you keeping that in mind when you go to the bargaining table?
I think here Eskom needs to be honest about what it can afford and what it can't afford. Eskom is claiming that it is cash-strapped and really it cannot make any movements as far as trying to find the money. But there are several avenues that we believe where Eskom could find money. First of all, Eskom has not done enough to recover the billions which were wasted through dodgy contracts. The billions that were wasted through the McKinsey contract, the billions that were wasted because of Gupta contracts, not a single rand has been recovered by Eskom. And then they want us to believe that they're being decisive about corruption. This is something that we have a real problem with. The other issue, we've been hearing media reports this week where analysts and experts are claiming that Eskom has no choice but to cut jobs. Because its wage bill is extremely high. But what they are not telling the public is that part of the reason that Eskom has such a high wage bill is that it's got an extremely top-heavy management structure. In 2001, Leanne, Eskom was run by an executive team of about 80 members. Currently, that executive team is more than 500 managers. Now, you can imagine more than 500 managers, all of them taking annual pay packages of R1 million or more. Yeah. That is part of the reason that they find themselves in this crisis. Yeah. If there are going to be any sacrifices that are going to take place, they should take place at the top management level, because as we know, the corruption and the problems that have been taking place have been at that level. So that is where they can find that money.
Phakamile, I need to wrap this, but I have to end on a going forward note, because obviously that's what we are interested in here. You've demanded, and the unions that are threatening to go on the strike are demanding a meeting with the president, with the board of Eskom, with other ministers as well. Talk to us. Is this happening? Have you heard from them? What's the next step?
We hope indeed that the president of the country has heeded our call, because for us to go on strike, that would be disastrous for everyone. It's important that people must know that a strike is a sacrifice for workers. For every day that they go on strike, they are denied wages. Their families suffer together with them because of that choice. So we actually don't want to go on strike. We would prefer to get together around the negotiating table and find each other so that we can resolve this impasse.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. This has all got to do with this Eskom strike. And as you've heard from Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, who's the spokesperson for NUMSA, saying that there is no strike happening today. There will be different lunchtime pickets, but the reality is that whether intimidation happens and people are not allowed to do their job as usual, that is still to be determined today. So we'll keep watching that story. But thank you very much again for that update. The time now is 7 o'clock. Let's get your news from Sakina.